Welcome to the site of the future Sunshine Coast Solar Farm. The Sunshine Coast Council, together with Downer, is building Australia's first utility-scale, local government-owned solar farm. When complete, the solar farm will allow Council to offset its entire electricity consumption from renewable energy across all its facilities and operations. At their peak, the 57,000 solar panels will generate 15,000 kilowatts of electricity from the sun. That's enough to power about 5,000 homes each year. You are part of the team that will bring this project out of the ground and help us flick the switch. So it's very important that you return home at the end of every day well and injury-free. This is a major game-changing project for the Sunshine Coast, with many activities happening on-site, some high risk. Downer's rigorous zero harm standards reflect those of Council. This short safety induction will let you know our expectations while you're on site. Regardless of the size of the task, plan the task before undertaking the task. Continually review your task to verify if things have changed. You must not walk past an unsafe condition or act. The standard you walk past is the standard you set. Keep an eye out for any adverse conditions and look out for those around you, including the general public and your work colleagues.
Zero harm is important for all Council's major projects, and especially so when there are lots of contractors and visitors on site working on or around heavy machinery and equipment every day. We want to make sure that nothing goes wrong and that all hazards or near misses are reported immediately to the site supervisor. Council has 7 safety essentials. 1. Be fit for work. 2. Look after yourself and others. 3. Manage risk. If it's not safe, don't do it. 4. Follow procedures and instructions. 5. Check all plant and equipment and be competent in its use. 6. Use and maintain correct PPE. 7. Report all hazards, incidents and near misses. Council has a zero harm approach to safety for everyone directly or indirectly affected by the project. It's important to have a good understanding of your responsibilities while on site. Consider what you do and look after your workmates, the public and the community. Your actions can have serious consequences, so before you do anything, think safety, and if in doubt, don't start. It's not unusual with a high-profile project such as the solar farm to generate inquiries from the media and general public when passing by the construction site. Your job is to direct all inquiries to Council's Customer Service Centre.
We simply want everyone to go home unharmed and the works to progress without incident. We want you to understand how we as a company operate and for you to gain awareness of site-specific hazards and risk control measures. To understand what needs to be done if an incident occurs, become familiar with the incident, emergency and evacuation procedures. These include muster points and first aid processes, and knowing how to report an incident or near miss is important to Downer. It's about caring for our people, our construction partners and protecting each other, our business, our community and our environment. At Downer, we expect that everyone who enters the site understands the importance of safety for themselves, other workers, the community and the environment. You must actively identify and control risks, follow all safety requirements and be able to take reasonable safety directions. If you see a hazard, own the hazard. If you see something that's not right, you have our authority to stop work until it is deemed safe to proceed. Everyone here is important, so it is vital that you look after yourselves and your workmates. For this project, Downer follows and complies with the Queensland Work Health and Safety Act and Regulations of 2011 and the Queensland Codes of Practice. Downer also has a zero harm management system which meets the requirements of the legislation that we all must follow. It may be common sense, but everyone has a legal duty to maintain a safe and healthy work environment.
Downer have 10 cardinal rules used across all projects that ensure safe work on site. Never walk directly behind or in the path of a reversing vehicle. Never work at height without fall protection. Never enter a designated confined space without training and a permit. never be under a suspended load, never enter a designated exclusion zone without authorisation, never work on plant and equipment without verifying isolation, tagging and testing, never tamper with, remove or bypass any safety device, never operate plant or mobile equipment unless you're licensed, competent or under supervised training, never operate a vehicle while using a handheld mobile phone or without wearing a seatbelt where they're fitted, never consume or be under the influence of alcohol or non-approved drugs in the workplace. Downer take environmental issues seriously. We have a site-specific construction environmental management plan plus 10 environmental principles. These are: check approvals and permits are in place before starting work, protect waterways and be prepared for spill events, use effective erosion and sediment controls, store and secure chemical substances in an abundant area, reduce, reuse, recycle to minimise waste, manage noise, vibration, dust, odour and fume to minimise the impact on the community, protect flora and fauna and prevent the spread of weeds and pests, protect and report cultural heritage and other finds, report all environmental hazards and incidents, keep every site secure, tidy and housekeeping maintained. Downer have identified 3 critical fatal risks for the project scope: people and plant interaction, working at height and working with electricity. Everyone on site following the full induction and introduction to safe work method statements will be well aware of the control measures to adhere to. It's important for everyone to pay attention to safety because we all see things differently and one person might see something that others don't, and that could save a life or yours. We don't want anyone hurt. We have a great lifestyle here and we want everyone to enjoy that at the end of the day. So report everything. Every time something is reported, we learn. And with that, we continually improve the way we work through change.
Sunshine Coast Council is committed to being Australia's most sustainable region, vibrant, green, diverse. A key goal in this commitment is a healthy environment. On council projects, this means taking a best practice approach to managing environmental impacts by complying with environmental legislation and meeting or exceeding environmental requirements. Projects are managed through the implementation of a construction environmental management plan, and all personnel are expected to follow this plan. In addition, the Environmental Protection Act 1994 sets out 2 primary duties that apply to everyone in Queensland. General environmental duty, which means you must not carry out any activity that causes or is likely to cause environmental harm unless measures to prevent or minimise the harm have been taken. Duty to notify of environmental harm, to inform the administering authority, landowner or occupier if an incident occurs that may cause serious or material environmental harm. If you are aware of an incident or activity that has or may cause environmental harm, report it immediately to your supervisor or the project manager so the correct notifications can be undertaken.
Communication is key to success, so we start the working day with formal pre-start meetings. This meeting is to review the daily work schedule, potential hazards, zero harm procedures required, PPE, etc. Everyone signs in as we need to know who's on site to keep them safe and accounted for. Personal protective equipment or PPE must be worn at all times when we are in the field. All operators must hold the required certificates and licences and be verified as competent before using any equipment.
Empowering our workers to stop the job if something is unsafe, whether it's equipment or behaviour or reporting anything that has a potential to do harm. It's not dobbing someone in, it's looking after each other.
If something needs attention throughout the day, we ask you to discuss it immediately with your supervisor. Toolbox talks will be held at least weekly to facilitate the exchange of critical zero harm information and frequent worker education.
We want to hear from everyone with eyes and ears on the job. We all share the responsibility of keeping this a safe and successful project.
There are 6 rules for PPE on this project. Make sure you've got it. Make sure it is the right PPE for the task. Make sure you use it. It's your responsibility to maintain it. Replace it when it becomes unserviceable or worn. Dispose of it properly. A tidy site is a safe site, and good housekeeping is a must. What's more, a clean site maintains the reputation of Downer and council and the state of the environment. Each day before leaving site, or when you have completed your job in a particular area, it doesn't take long to clean up.
At the end of the project, we can be proud to have safely delivered one of the region's biggest infrastructure projects. By using common sense, following our zero harm obligations and looking out for each other, we can return home unharmed.
Here on the Sunshine Coast, we are striving to become Australia's most sustainable region, and the solar farm is an important part of our grand plan to achieve that vision. This exciting initiative provides real savings for this council and therefore our ratepayers, while positioning us as leaders in the renewable energy space. It will supply all of council's electricity from a renewable energy source, save council millions of dollars over a 30-year period, and it will help foster a clean technology hub in the region, creating more sustainable employment opportunities. Council is proud of this project, and we want you to be proud of your part in its delivery. Most importantly, we want you to be there at the end with zero harm to celebrate its successful completion.